On February 2nd, 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, officially ending the Mexican-American War. As a result, Texas and all of Alta, Upper California, formally was annexed and became part of the United States, and the U.S. agreed to pay $15 million for this newly claimed territory. The acquisition of Alta California included the land now known as not just California, but also Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming. With a foreign policy doctrine of American expansion put forth by President James Knox Polk when he became president in 1845, it made a war with Mexico inevitable. How did California, especially Sutter's Fort, fit into this war? Well, Congress declared war on Mexico in May 1846. Fighting was first involving Texas. 7 weeks later, though, on July 7th, 1846, Commodore John Drake Sloat and the United States Navy seized control of the capital here in Alta California, Monterey, raised the United States flag, and claimed California for the United States. The U.S. troops that landed in Monterey did not meet any resistance from Mexican soldiers. 2 days later, Yerba Buena, now known today as San Francisco, was seized, and soon after, the Bear flag was lowered over Sonoma, and the U.S. flag was raised, thus ending the short-lived, just over 3 weeks, Bear Flag Republic. On July 11th, 1846, Joseph Warren Revere, the grandson of Paul Revere, ordered the U.S. flag to be raised over Sutter's Fort. The fort at this time now became an outpost for the United States Army and Navy during the war. However, the battles in California were mainly in Southern California. Hostilities in California actually ended in January 1847 with the Treaty of Cahuenga. And with the occupation of California by the United States will further push John Sutter's plan to have a sawmill constructed to get lumber to build a town near this area that he hopes to call Sutterville. Gold was found by James Marshall at Sutter's Mill on January 24th, 1848. 4 days later, Marshall brings the gold here to John Sutter. It's in Sutter's office. They will test whether or not that gold was real. They try to keep it secret. Word doesn't get out for a couple weeks later. So when that gold is brought here, that's 5 days before the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is signed. Now, as a historian, I am not one to discuss what ifs or anything like that, but I've always thought about if they had found gold earlier, if that would have changed the outcome or the battles here in California during the Mexican-American War. The real outcome, though, of the war after the treaty changed everything here for California, and it is pretty much the very fabric of what we think of as manifest destiny at the time. This treaty justified further American colonization of the west half of the continent, and it further expanded settler colonialism here in the American West, which will lead to further destruction of native life. After all, the treaty was negotiated solely between the United States and Mexico without any recognition to native nations, further disregarding the people who have inhabited the land for thousands of years.